All right, guys. All right. Hey, it's glad to meet you. And like I said, I just want you to just relax and be yourself. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that sounds
Cool.
good.
Fine. Now, hey, how did your faith influence your decision to start a Christian band? How did that
Oh,
come
that's
about?
for me. It started when I became a Christian back in 1985, and I got a calling from God to play music for Him because I played before that too, and that's what I knew, and that's my language to speak to people.
So a so with you, music is your way to speak to people. It's your way to
Yeah,
communicate with people by using your music in your songs that you write and perform.
yeah, that's
And
true.
how about rest of your members there? How did your faith influence you?
Well, about 9 years ago, we spoke on the phone. I got the information that you needed another guitarist as well, and I wasn't really up to it, but I gave him a call, and Michael started to share his vision, and it was surprisingly close to my vision because at the time I couldn't afford any more time to to join a band just to play in a band. My
Right.
life's full anyway. But according to his vision and my vision, I couldn't afford to say no because it was meant to be.
It was that
Uh,
opportunity that you've been praying for and looking for, and then God opens up this door for this opportunity.
yeah, yeah, because that's also who I am. It's not just something I aim to become in the future, but I got this urge in life to reach out to especially youngsters listening to metalheads
Right.
with something more in life, and that is your life is valuable, and you need to take care of your life, and you need to take care of your family and friends, and also enjoy life. This is parts of the meaning of life. Of course, Jesus too, but also these parts.
Right, right. We still have our morals and values in life. To outside of being a Christian, life. We need to be happy in life. And we need children to understand there's more to life than just certain things. You know,
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
so yeah. So you use your music to reach out to these individuals or these children or youngsters. You reach out to them through your music to help them to understand. Not only can you be a Christian, but you can also still enjoy life being a Christian. It doesn't mean
Yeah,
that you right. It doesn't mean that you have to, be holier than now. Enjoy life.
yeah.
You're
yeah,
not you're not really restricted. You're a Christian,
No,
but yeah, you have
it's
certain things you don't do anymore. But you still go on with life. You still enjoy life.
yeah, because sometimes in life, it's like uh, a lot of things that you believe you have to do, and of course, sometimes in life you have to do certain stuff.
Right.
But when life become only all these musts, you forget to live your life.
Yeah. Yeah. We get wrapped up into certain things, and we forget
Yeah,
about everything else because we're so consumed with what we're trying to accomplish or try to do. We forget about everything. We forget about our family and friends and everybody around us and things around us. We forget about that.
yeah.
How about the rest of the members? How did your faith influence you all?
this is my son.
Oh, it's your
Yeah,
son, really? Wow.
yeah. So he's the youngest member. The youngest member.
So pretty
uh,
much, dad was doing this, so son said, man, this that looks pretty cool. So I think I would like to do this too, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I've seen him play guitar since I was a little peanut, a little toddler. It was uh, automatic. or
Only natural.
yeah, it was only natural for me to pick up the guitar, and now I play bass instead.
Okay. So instead of playing the lead or rhythm guitar, you play the bass.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He also play guitar.
Oh, so he can play guitar too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you can play both guitar and bass. So you enjoy the bass a little more than you do the guitar?
No, I enjoy playing guitar more, but
Oh, do you?
every band needs a bass player,
But you
so
need a bass player, so yeah, why
I
not?
get that role.
Hey, the Video Champion, I was watching it. Wow, powerful video.
Oh, champion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Cool.
watching that. I was wow, I like that how you uh, brought out the bullying and how to be a champion. I like that.
Yeah.
Very, very
Thank
good
you.
video. Definitely gonna take this video and actually want to put it on my Facebook and circulate it out there because it's definitely got a
Cool.
great message to it.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
Michael.
who?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The story behind that is when I was a kid, in first day in school, they started to bully me, and I was so scared, so I locked myself into the toilet during the breaks, and all the when I came out, they picked on me and stuff, and I was really sad and angry,
Wow.
sad and both angry too. But then there was the toughest guy in school, who everybody was afraid of, came up to me and said to all the others, "If you touch this guy, I'm gonna spank you."
Wow. You're gonna have a bad
Fireworks.
day, right? You're gonna touch you. You're gonna have a bad day. So.
No, but he really stood up for you.
Yeah, he stood up for me, and from
Wow.
that day on,
Wow.
they never picked on me again. So
Wow. Wow.
I
That's
think
you probably never even expected that. Never expected somebody like that to come up and stand up
no,
for you. And,
I was also afraid of him. So, but I think that's in some way Jesus stands with us
right. Yes.
in the tough
He stands
times,
with us. Right. Right. He definitely does. You
and
know, go ahead.
he's gonna spank the devil when he try to mock us. So
See, I
it's
can
just,
relate to the bullying part too because I grew up being bullied and I lived in the western part of the United States for about 5 years and I started a nonprofit organization called Superheroes for Charity and I played Superman and I raised awareness for bullying, domestic violence, abuse, PTSD and went into schools and talked to kids about bullying and abuse. And so when I watched that video and seen that, it definitely resonates with me, because I can relate to that. And but yeah, I definitely love the video. I definitely want to get it out. To you know you never know. That video could open the doors for somebody to change their life or even help them in some way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely love the video, love the music, and love the lyrics and what it's all about.
thank
But
you.
Yeah, thanks.
who influenced your music and songwriting? Were there other secular bands like Metallica, Megadeth, or Ozzy, or bands like that ever influenced your music or songwriting?
Oh, yeah, we're I forgot.
There's a lot of bands.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands.
Lot of secular bands, the heavy metal bands, and thrash metal. A lot of those
Both
bands.
sex
Both. Yeah, both.
and Christians. and for songwriter, I can be touched by a soft song, or a brutal song, or just birds chirping. It can, everything can be a song.
Right.
Yeah.
God is click,
Right.
click.
Yeah,
So-
I can share a story with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So many years ago, when I was a lot younger, I listened to Metallica, and I listened a lot to Metallica. And to give the image, it was like I was listening to them when I had breakfast. I was listening walking to school. I was listening during the day, and you get the picture. I listen a lot to.
Right.
And and one summer I went as a leader with the church to summer camp with other kids, and another leader told me that, Emmanuel, you shouldn't listen to Metallica, and I was like, what? What are you talking about? Because I know this is good for me. I learned to play in a different way, and I evolved my guitar skills at a really good level. I also was a guitar teacher, and everything was good, I thought.
Right.
Later this night, I talked to God, and I told God that, I know this is good for me, but okay, just to have it said, let your will be done, God. And with a true heart. But I still was ensured that Metallica was good for me. And after this prayer, I cried my heart out. I didn't get the picture until after I have finished crying. But after this moment, my interest in Metallica was whatsoever totally gone. And then I understood. This isn't a story about Metallica. This is a story about my life at the time.
Right. Right.
And because Metallica had become idols for me, which I didn't understood earlier, I now could understand. So I still can listen and enjoy a Metallica song every now and then, but not at the same. You get the picture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's. I mean, I listen to Ozzy, Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. I listen to those songs every now and then, like you do, but I don't get totally engulfed into it. Where it
No,
consumes my life that I gotta listen to them all the time.
no, exactly. And when I told God that I think this is good, but let your will be done, and I
Yeah.
totally meant it. He took it from me because he understood that it has been a bit too much now.
Right.
So,
And
so he,
you're right, because anything can be an idol. We can make
yeah,
anything an idol. And
anything,
and you're right.
anything.
So you seen Metallica was a quote idol to you because you become consumed with it.
Yeah, yeah,
And when you prayed, and it's hard for people to pray, God, your will be done, because we want our will to be done, not God's will. And when you say with a sincere heart, God, let your will be done, that's when God says, okay, now you understand, and his will be done. And now he opens
exactly,
up your eyes, to
exactly.
what you need to see.
And when I tell friends and other guys I meet about this story, some people they listen to the story and they embrace it, and some people they reject it, and it's either way for me, because for me it was real.
Yeah.
I The only thing I can do is to share what I have experienced myself, and
Right.
what other people do with this, it's their thinking, and their,
Yeah.
it's not mine.
Right. Right. We can't control what other people do with it or how they respond to it. All we can do is we can share our story and share things with them, but we can't control their actions or responses. That's on them. And you're right. And that's their, what they choose to do with it is on them. They want to accept
Yeah.
it or not. And
Yeah.
but we know that, hopefully that they can take it to heart and realize that they need to change something in their life. And
Yeah.
and they hey, you know what? Here's a savior. His name is Jesus Christ. He can wipe away everything. He can wipe
Yeah.
all your sins away. You can still have a great life. You can still enjoy life. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but you just have to give up your idols and the things that you worship more. So
Yeah.
and it's
And the
hard.
thing is,
It's hard for
what
people to do that.
yeah, yeah, and also why we say some certain stuff and why we play gigs live. I think then when we stay on the stage and we play our instruments and we're singing, uh, I believe that everything we have in our heart, it's like it's pouring out
It's
to
right.
the masses to listen because we want to give what we really are convinced of in our hearts.
Yeah.
So
And
that's what we want to give people.
right. And God will take you, and you may be a band to go into a gig. It may be that band to play to reach an individual in there. You never know. You may be the one that your music may be the one that will touch people. Or other bands that came in there but never touched them. But you may be the band that comes in there, and your music may be the ones that will touch their hearts and change their life. Because remember, it's God always has the right person at the right time for the right situation. Always does. And we see that throughout the Bible. He could have chose somebody else differently to go to Nineveh and warn them, but he chose Jonah. And he could have chose somebody else to go fight Goliath, but he chose David. So he had the right person for the right situation at the right time. And the same way with Christian bands, God will put them in the right place at the right time for the right situation. And
Yeah,
try to remember that. So when you go play gigs, you could be the ones that could be planting a seed or changing somebody's life, whereas others couldn't.
And the funny thing is when you really nail it, the concert is perfect. You sang good, you played good, and um, it doesn't it doesn't necessarily mean that uh, you reached
Right.
some in the audience. But
Yeah.
I have experience often when you goof totally, uh, and then someone come up afterwards and say, "Hey, you did a really good job," and then okay,
Right. Yeah.
you got touched me. So,
yeah.
It,
It
it's
makes
it's good. It's good to hear that. It's good to hear those type of compliments. But you like to hear like, hey, you know what? You did such a good job. Your music really touched me. Tell me more about Jesus. You
yeah,
know, sure. We all would like to hear that, but you never know. Because your music could have touched somebody, but they may not know how to approach you. Because remember, a lot of people when they see people play in the bands, and I played in a band back in the mid '80s, from '86 to '89, and and I get it because when people they're around a band, they're afraid to approach the band because they get this stigma about them that they're in the band, they ain't got time for me, they're too busy with themselves and things like that. So people have a tendency to be afraid to approach you. And when talking to interviewing these other bands that I have with here in the States, I get the same response is the same way because people see you as in a band, but that stigma that follows the band. They're just too busy with themselves and ain't got time for me or time to talk with me. And I think
yeah,
that's why some people are afraid to approach bands, and because of that.
yeah.
I
So
can also I can also relate to this what Micke was sharing with us because sometimes when you have you have done everything in your power, but that's just the case. It's not
yeah,
about you. It's about your heart.
Yeah.
So even if you feel like it wasn't my best gig ever, but still, if your heart is in the right place, that's what counts.
Right. Right. And you're right. It comes down to what was your intentions or what was your motives? What's your heart saying? The heart speaks. The words come out of the mouth, what your heart speaks. So,
Yeah.
so you're right. So, what was the intentions or motives of your heart? Yeah, you may not feel like might have been the best gig that you played, but it could have been the best gig for somebody to hear it.
Yeah.
Hear that music and hear that message in your song.
Yeah.
So how do you handle disagreements or differences of opinions when it comes to writing music? Do you guys just like, okay, sounds great, we'll try this, or like, no, I want to try it this way? So how do you guys handle that?
Yeah, I can say we don't. I don't know if we had any disagreements. This sounds really crazy, but it's like we're. I think that we're pretty open to different ideas, and we
Okay.
come from different musical backgrounds. And at least I feel that we have gotten really kind of a fresh thing when Patrick here joined, because of he's another age than
Right.
the others was. Oh,
Uh,
no,
pretty
but
much.
so for me, it's been like, yeah, it's really fresh, new approach, and everyone brings new ideas to the table, and we're open to kind of try things, and I don't know if we kind of had any, not any major disagreements, or what
Well,
do you say, Ray?
of course, when you have multi members in a band, and I'm sure you've experienced this in your past with other members or things like that, where you have these disagreements because sometimes you'll have a member that wants it. This is how I want it. This is the way I want it, and doesn't want to be open to any um, options or suggestions or anything like that. It was their way or that's it, and sometimes bands have a hard time wanting to agree on trying something or be open-minded to different ideas or suggestions. And sometimes it causes conflicts within the band. But it is good that all four of you collaborate together. You're open to all these ideas and these suggestions when it comes to songwriting or music or things like that. You're open to that, and of course with your son there, you as you mentioned, being younger, fresh ideas. So him, what his age group, and of course their music is a little different from you guys who are older. So now you have an idea, how can we write something but also to reach out to this generation, this age group? What are
Yeah.
they interested in, what kind of style, what you know so it's good that you have that diversity in your group.
But still, if you think we have one song and all of us record it by ourselves, it's going to be 4 different songs. But
Oh, wow.
I think when we do this together, we go through some filters, the hero
Right.
filter, and we add some stuff that oh, I didn't think about that, but that's cool. Let's do it right.
Yeah.
So it's
So you record it, but then when you go back and listen to it, you start picking up on things. It's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
it'd be good if we add this here, or take this, or turn this down, or turn this up, or add this, or take this out. Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
good when you go record it one way, but then you go back and listen to it. Yeah, you begin to pick up on some things, and then you work on the main when it comes down to the master before you actually put it out for production. So
and then when the song is on the record or something, then we play it live, and then we came up with some other new stuff that we throw in the song. So the song,
it's a little different from so you put out the record, but when you go do it live, you kind of add a little more to it or something.
yeah, it's not
Well,
done on the record. It's
So, but then again, when you do the record, you know, you have like a minute or a minute and a half, 2 minutes solo, but then all of a sudden you do it live, you get caught up in the everything, you
Yeah.
end up with a 5 minute solo.
Exactly.
You know, which is great because you know it makes it more interesting, and people's like, wow, this is really cool, you know, and they want to go buy the music, you know, because you put that different touch on it live and make it more personal. And then, and it's true. I mean, when you do perform live, you get caught up in it sometimes with the crowd and the excitement, and you know, and yeah, so you do. So
I
go
must
ahead.
also add another level to it. And since I became a member 9 years ago, I was really embraced with a warmth, and it's like to give you this hint, it's like a little church house group. It's very welcoming, and hur säger man högt i tak? How do you say it?
It's a Swedish.
It's
No, it's
open-hearted.
Open. You can say whatever you want in the group. And
Yeah,
it's-
it's
Oh, okay.
it's like
So there's no
in case we
we
should in case we should disagree with something, we can talk about it.
what we say here in the States is no filter. You know,
Yeah.
just say what's on your mind, say it. You know, you're not going to hurt my
Yeah,
feelings. You know, just be
yeah,
open and
and,
honest. So we
and
say here in the States, we say no filter.
yeah, and in every situation, if there's been a small or a minor or um, maybe something bigger, we can talk about it and we solve it. It's really it becomes not a problem in the long term.
See, that's how God is
Because,
working in each of your all's lives. You know, He brought you all together, and look. Not only do you fit together as a band, but then your music, you you all have the same visions. Almost like it sounds like you guys, each one of y'all have the same vision. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. And this is how we want to do this. And when it comes to disagreements or something, you handle it in a mature way. You handle it in a biblical way. Let's sit down here and let's talk about this. You know, there's no animosity, there's no grudges, there's no nothing. You know, okay, let's talk about it. You know, I like
Yeah.
that. And then so far what I've been hearing, that's what I like about that. You know, how you guys handle and resolve situations.
yeah, we need to stick with each other for a while.
Yeah.
So we need to solve it if
Yeah.
there's anything.
Yeah. I just want to mention also that we have this kind of messenger group with just to mention the other parts of that are a little bit outside of the band. We have actually here right now we have Mike's daughter Petra. She's doing photo and shoot the music video, and we also have close relatives and the family members that are kind of sticking up and being by our side. And just a couple of weeks ago, when I had kind of like a lumbago, and also I got the stomach flu, and it's like we're under attack, and Emmanuel also had with the back, and you had the ear infection, right? So it's like
Oh wow.
we're under attack, but kind of okay, let's pray, let's do this together. And then this interview comes up, so like thinking like this is, we're probably maybe under attack, but something is brewing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We're probably heading somewhere
Yeah,
that we don't know, but
You're right. You're right because you know God is preparing you for something else. You know, so yeah, so we go through these trials and challenges sometimes because God is preparing us, you know, for our next chapter per se. And
yeah,
it also too sounds like you have a good support system to help you get through struggles and doubts and things like that. Like, you know, you have your spouses, your partners, your you know, you
exactly.
have people that help you, and sounds like your support system is really good.
Yeah, and now watching this interview or watching us live, you don't see all the people surrounding us. And of course, we also have our own audio technician, Simon.
Yeah.
By the way, it's his birthday today.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay. Happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday,
Yeah,
Simon.
happy
Well,
birthday.
actually, this is an internal joke because every time we mention his name, it's his birthday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well,
So let's send our greetings to
Happy B-Day.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. But yeah, it's good that you have that support system because you need that. And we all do as Christians, that's why, the Bible says, forsake not the assembling of yourself, even though more so as you see that day approaching. Hebrews chapter 10. That's
Yeah.
why, we go to church because we need our fellow Christians and brothers and sisters. We need them that's our support, pray with us, to encourage us. But also too, outside of the church, with you as a band, you have people around you that's your support system, your wives or your partners and other people that are there with you to help you and encourage you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any go ahead.
That's the church.
Yeah. This is the heavy metal church.
Yes. Yeah, heavy
Um,
metal. Yeah, the first heavy metal church. Actually, our main church is in Dayton, Ohio, and I'm a branch off of it in South Carolina. First heavy metal
Okay.
church. Yeah.
yeah.
So we actually have two in Germany, one in Greece, which is Eva, who reached out to you all, and we have
All right.
one in South Africa. We have two in Florida. We have one in Las Vegas, one in Birmingham, Alabama. So yeah, we're getting out, and just like you guys, a mission, just go out and tell people about Christ. And you know what, so what, there's nothing wrong about listening to Christian metal and Christian rock, man. It's great. I grew up listening to Striper and Petra and all these 80 bands, Christian metal bands. But
Yeah.
when people hear it, they're like, "Wow, this is Christian music," and like, yeah, and it's like, "Oh wow, man, I really like this. I didn't even know it was out there." So there's still a lot of people here in the United States that hasn't even heard about Christian rock or Christian metal, and so when they hear it, they're like, "Wow, I really like this," and
Yeah.
so it's good to hear when you hear people say that, like, "Wow, I never knew that there's Christian rock or Christian metal." And yeah, you can still rock for the Lord, man. We all have
Yeah.
talent, and no matter what our talent is, we use it to edify the kingdom of God. Because remember, the Bible talks about everybody has a part of the body of Christ. We're all made up of different parts. And so whatever our talent is or our abilities that God has given us, we need to use that to edify the kingdom of God, to try to win the lost. And with you, each of you all, you're musicians, you're music. So why not? Take your music, Christian rock, Christian metal. There's still a whole group of people out there, who like metal music, who likes rock music. And what better way to reach these type of people by doing Christian metal?
Exactly.
So, and that's just like, like motorcycle gangs. You have motorcycle gangs and you have Christian motorcycle gangs who are out there reaching other gangs, motorcycle groups, trying to win them for Christ because that's what they can relate to, motorcycles. And
Yeah.
with you, it's rock music, it's metal music. So you can relate to those type of people, that type of audience that are into rock and metal. And
Exactly.
and that's what people need to understand. It's this is what God give us. This is our ability, and this is what we're using it for. And we're using it for God, not to glorify ourselves. If you want to glorify somebody, glorify God for what He is using me for. Ability to be able to make this music to reach people.
Yeah.
And so, are there? Is there any biblical teachings or stories that have an impact on your faith?
Yeah, a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of.
Would you like to share a few of them? How any type of biblical teachings or biblical story that really had an impact on your faith?
I can maybe I can just share, connect to a thing that you said before,
Okay.
like God chooses with the some of the Bible stories, he chooses kind of the broken people, the one that no one wants to choose,
Right.
and make them do a larger impact that maybe that someone was really famous from the beginning or whatever. So that is kind of a comforting thing to know, because when you're like, okay, how can I make an impact or whatever, I feel like I'm really down, or like, okay, God, just do your thing, and then that becomes like multiplied, instead of me being like, okay, I'm gonna do the best drumming I can do this, and keeping so thoughts on the technical things, but just being broken and kind of open. That's really, that's something that's really powerful, and it's again and again in the Bible, all these stories about God choosing kind of the broken or the left out
Right. You
character.
know, you're right. You're exactly right, because when we look at the stories, you're right. What does he choose? He chooses the ones that have been broken, that are misfits or cast aside. Nobody wants anything to do with. But the the weak and the lame, and we look at these people nobody wanted, but God says, "Hey, I want you. I love you." You know, and what's he do? He heals them, and he he makes them better. He takes the lame, now they can walk. He takes the deaf, now they can hear. He takes the broken, he heals them, and they become better. But then what do? They go out and tell other people, look what God did. Look what God did. Look at the miracles that God did. And we look at the stories of those that he did this to. What did they do? He told them to go tell, go tell your story. And that's what we should do as Christians too. You know what? We're all broken to a certain point. Everybody is. You know, whether it's been in a bad relationship, whether you've been through a bad divorce, whatever. You know, we are all broken to some extent. But when we come to Christ, He puts it all back together, and He makes it better. You know, look what He did with Job. Job lost everything, and what did God do? He gave him back everything, but better.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but and also too, if you go read in the book of Job, which I thought this was, I know I read the story over and over a lot of times, but then I didn't really catch it until recently. It's like Job had the most beautiful women in the whole world. His women were the most beautiful women in the world. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, I never knew that. And, as much as I read that story, it just didn't dawn on me. And I was like, not only did God give him back everything multiple times over, but then he turned around and made his daughters the most beautiful women in the world. And they're like,
Yeah.
God said, look, you know what? You may go through trials and tribulations, but if you hang in there and stay faithful, look at the outcome. It could be better. It's going to be better, but we just have to hang on. And that's what we needed, and that's what we know God did with the broken and those who were outcasts and misfits and nobody cared about or want anything to do with. He healed them, made them better, and they went out and told their story. And that's what he tells us. He even tells us in the Great Commission, go, and tell the world. And that's what we should be doing, going and telling the world. And you're doing it in your music. And
Yeah.
is there a song or something that maybe was challenging to write or maybe perform? Maybe there was, I mean, maybe you done this one song, maybe you done it like 20 times, but then all of a sudden you do this song this one night and all of a sudden the song really hits you. Have you ever had a song have you ever done a song like that?
We have a song called Blood Red Roses. It's about there's roses growing on the skull where Jesus was crucified, and the roses were white, but they became red because of his blood. And that song is always touchy when you play it live, and people even in pubs and clubs and rock places, they sing along with it because the refrain is so catchy and easy to sing along with. And it's cool to see a lot of drunk people singing Blood Red Roses
Oh wow. So it's
every time. Yeah,
so it really so when you perform that song, and then see people responding back by singing along, singing
yeah,
with you, it's not it's not easy to get. I mean, it's easy to get emotional from it,
yeah,
because there's a song that you've written about that, and seeing the people respond by singing it back, I can see how that can be really emotional, really get to you,
yeah,
because who would ever thought, you go out and perform a song and then all of a sudden they start singing along, and it's touching. It really is, especially when people sing your lyrics and sing along with it. It's really touching. And
Yeah,
and go ahead.
yeah, sorry. And then, like you said before, like planting the seed, you never
Yeah.
know who of these people, even though they're probably maybe drunk, some of
yeah,
them or whatever, but that could plant the seed because they have actually sung those words, and you
yeah,
never know what happens a week or
Right.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, because we never know, your music, like I said, your music can touch somebody's life and plant that seed. Your music could be the one that God would use to do that. Maybe your music was the one that what they needed to hear. And but we're never going to know until we stand before God and God shows us all that we have done, and all the lives that we have changed. There could be more lives out there that your music have changed we don't even know about. And it's like, it's like me, preaching the word. I will never know all the lives that I have touched and all the seeds that I've planted until I stand before God. There's
yeah,
there's probably more out there that I don't even know about. But that's great. you know and like let God, your will be done, not mine. you know I'm just an instrument being used by God. That's what we all are. God's just working in me and through me, just like he is with you all. He's working in you and through you. And but yeah, we'll never know the seed that we planted. And I'm sure with your music there's a lot more seed planted than what we really know. We just,
yeah.
but when we stand before God, we'll know all the souls and all the lives that we have touched. And so, what is your legacy that you hope to leave behind with your music or ministry?
Well, to answer that question, I also want to add another thing,
Okay.
and also many years ago, when I was a year old guy in my mid-teens, I made a decision because of my interest in hard music and my interest in following God. I made this decision that, okay, God, I'm gonna give this a go now. So I read through Matthew, Marcus, Luke, and John in just a couple of weeks, and because of this, every time I went to town and I saw these metalheads, it was like God has put something in my heart, a longing to get to know them, to reach out to them, to be a friend with them, to give them something. And what can I possibly give them? Well, I can be a channel that God may show them something. I don't know exactly why or how, or all these questions, but those questions are in somewhat irrelevant, because if I only open my heart and let him do his will through me, he can touch someone.
Yeah.
So this was the start for me, because you asked for some verses of the Bible or something, but for me it was reading these 4 books like shoo. Then something started to happen, because I wanted something to happen, and God saw that, and He took it, and He made something of it. So I just want to share this with you.
Oh yeah, I definitely like that. You know how God is using you, working in you and through you, and be able to reach certain people. And
Yeah.
um,
So, so,
and
so this
go ahead.
this builds up for the question you had about the legacy,
Yeah,
because as I can see it, I want to continue to be open to God to make His will be done.
Yeah.
And if that was supposed to be that, well, you can quit the band, okay, I will. And if it says you can continue in the band, okay, I will. Because I just want to do what God wants me to do, and to be able to give people what I think they need. So I want to be open to God, and that is my legacy.
great, great. And how about the rest of you? What legacy do you hope to leave behind with your music or ministry?
The legacy as a musician, it it it's nice to get it out to people more, and so a broader audience can hear it, and also that we can touch this audience with the message of Jesus Christ and His mercy for people.
And as a legacy you want to leave behind, that your music will touch people.
Yeah,
My legacy is that I want people to listen to my music and not only be touched, but I hope their life will be changed because of my music, that they will know Christ through it. Is
and
that
then
how?
my son here who also is a new thing in the band. I wondered sometimes where's all the band members a lot of years ago,
Yeah.
but I didn't know I'm gonna play with my son when he's 25. So
Wow. You're right. See, they're getting, like I said, God never, you never know how God is going to work things out. And and he, like I said, he puts the right people in the right place in the right situation. And here's
exactly.
your son, right there with you. And then uh, what more could you ask for? God, thank you. I know my son's here and following in my footsteps, but then again, it's part of my legacy is the music. Here's what we do. We put music out to touch people's lives. So,
Exactly.
it's sometimes it's hard to fathom sometimes the mind of God and how He works, and then when we see the full picture, all I do is just shake my head because I was like, wow, you know, you're amazing, God. How He does things, and but remember, He works all things for good for them that love God, who are called according to their purpose. So He works all things for good. So, so
And it's
definitely.
also it's just so fun to play music. So
It,
and
it,
and and to do it for God is a even higher greatness. So, but we wouldn't do it if we didn't like to play metal or guitar or sing.
Yeah,
But
because now it seems like it's more fun now to play for Christ than it was back then just playing regular metal music. Now I'm making
absolutely,
music for God. I'm making
yeah,
music to touch people's lives and to change people's lives, to tell them about God through my music and through my lyrics.
yeah,
So your happiness is coming from that, from writing music and singing and seeing people's lives change or touched through it.
Absolutely.
As in the start of the interview, when we talked about taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, and taking care of the band,
Right.
enjoying life, enjoying the band. Yeah. So
And that,
we're like back in the circle again.
it's almost like a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know, you become one big family.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
but now how does your when it comes to topics like bullying, how does that help you or influence you in a way with your songwriting? What about bullying? Because I know this seems to be a topic. Because I know when I watched the video champion, you know, I seen that and that was the first thing I was like bullying because you know when I listened to the music and I was watching the video, you know, you were talking about about bullying and I seen it. And so how does that difficult type of topics play into your songwriting?
I think it's how it was. It's still a scar inside of
Yeah.
us, and it's not bad because of that scar you can express yourself. You know what it means to have to be
Right.
scarred,
Right.
so you can
Yeah, you have
relate
this
to.
big scar you're carrying around, but you don't carry the weight with you anymore, but you still have the scar and the remembrance of it. But it doesn't affect you like it used to before. And
Exactly.
so with this topic with bullying does that resonate with each of you in the band, or just a few of you, or is that with each of you?
I can also relate to this because I've also got my share of being bullied in some ways back in school, early years. So as for me, playing live, it becomes my song too. So I also play straight from my heart to the audience, totally.
Yeah.
So even if you wrote the lyrics, um, I believe that when I play my guitar and when I do the background vocals, it's my heart right out.
I
So
think we
you
all been in the bully business.
Yeah.
you know it's
Receiving.
And honestly, you know what? And honestly, it sucks. It really does. You know,
Yeah.
because I was bullied too. You know, and it does. It really hurts. And you're like say, you know, carry that scar, and you do. You carry that scar, and you have triggers, and so you got to learn to control those triggers. You know, so a lot of things don't bother me now as they did when I was younger. Now I'm more mature, handle like an adult, but also do I handle it in a Christian way? Like, okay, that's fine. You know, I just blow it off and just pray for them. I pray for those who persecute me and pray for my enemies. And
Right.
but yeah, I th- I think the numbers are higher when it comes to bullying people who have been bullied. Because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people just don't come out and talk about it because they're broken by it and they're so they want to seclude themselves because usually when you're bullied it usually leads into depression and other thing of course it ends up there's some people with suicide.
Yeah.
But so there's a multifaceted to not just being bullied but there's other effects that follow it, the depression, you know, and some people end up taking their lives. And so now, when you go and play, have you ever got any of your listeners to ever come up to you and talk to you like, wow, you know what, that song really touched me. You know, I've been bullied before, or anything like that. Have you ever had any of your listeners come up to you and talk to you about that?
We played at a ALS. I don't know what's it called in English. What is it? OLS.
Yeah. Yeah, the nervous
Nerves.
sickness that kind of paralyzes you. ALS. I don't know. Is it
Okay.
called ALS? Yeah.
Yeah, and then on that show there were a woman came up to me and said, "Thank you for playing that song. We're from the." It was an organization about this sickness, and she really thanked me for it.
So
And
was that very
Yeah.
touching
So
for you to hear that when people come up to you and and share their story with you that, hey, that really touched me. I can relate to that.
yeah, it's always touchy when people uh, get the, the the feeling from a song and I don't know what to say.
no, but kind of when you relate to something that is more personal, it kind of opens up the whole discussion with that person instead of just what kind of drum pedals are you using. That it could
Right.
be an open,
Right.
but kind of like when you get that personal, it kind of lays the platform for talking more about personal stuff
Right.
and how to handle things instead of maybe just technical. But sometimes that's
Yeah.
good too because it
Right.
could open. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right because it becomes personal when they come up to you. Right, you hit that on the good point there because it opens up the door to a discussion. To talk about it and mention Jesus and have you do you know about Jesus? Have you give your life to Christ? Versus somebody talks to you about, well, what type of strings do you use on your guitar, or what type of foot pedals, or what type of pedal pads do you use? Those are technical things. It's easy to talk about, but it doesn't open the doors quite as good as it does when it becomes a personal question and personal response. You can talk about the pedals and things like that, but um, it's harder to talk about Christ in that situation, and because these people are more interested in technical and what you're using versus if somebody comes up to you, talks to you, and becomes a personal question, opens up that door. Can you see the difference there? How the approaches are?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to say I try to think about not underestimating even those smaller questions because it has happened that as you said before, it's like no, the band doesn't have time for me or
Yeah.
anything. But maybe that is the type of question that they maybe are not really that afraid to ask. Okay, so what about the sticks or what about the strings or and then that could lead to something. So you have to be open all the
Yeah.
time because that could be the kind of like the bait.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, yeah. Right. Yeah, Y- it is the bait, but maybe that'd be a way for that person can only come up to you and talk to you. It's like, wow, hey, what kind of drumsticks are you using? You know, and that's right, and that was your drumsticks are the bait to open up that door for a discussion. And
Yeah.
but but it's a little more easier when it becomes like, hey, your song really touched me and I really like that song, and wow, tell me, more about this song or something like that. When it becomes a personal approach, the door really opens because that door is open versus coming and talking to you about the technical thing. The door is open, but we have to take advantage of that opportunity when it does open.
Yeah.
And has has there been a moment when a fan's reached out to you about your music, that maybe has impacted their life in some way? Other than with bullying or things like that, has
Well,
any fans reached out and said, "Wow, your music really has really impacted me, man. I really like it," and had to,
there's there's something else I could start to share.
Yeah.
Um, because now as an adult, some 8 years ago, I think, I used to be a bus driver, and I actually met one of my former bullies
Oh, wow.
as an and I was driving in traffic, and there was this car coming in high speed, and he cut me off and was really annoyed with me and the bus. So he parked just next to the bus and were really annoyed, and asked if I'm not able to drive in traffic. So I was looking, and oh, it's you, and I mentioned his name, and he was surprised, and he said, "Oh, it's you." And I told him that, oh, well, okay, well, maybe we can sort this out on Messenger later on. So I searched him, and I found him. And as an adult, and also as a Christian, God put some wisdom in my text to write him. And I said to him that I know how to drive in traffic, and in case you think you have something to share with me about how to be to one another, I will freely and happily take a coffee with you. And he never responded to that. So
Wow.
I believe I wasn't mean, but I was truly honest, and I would appreciate a coffee with him. Absolutely. But those words were enough.
Yeah.
But in a way, it was really nice to confront this, but in moderate level, and with the true heart.
And
So
your
yeah,
approach
yeah,
was your approach was Christ-like.
yeah.
You
I'm really grateful
know,
because
and your words, what you sent him, there again, there's power in words.
oh
Okay, our
yes,
words that we speak, they will either bring life to you or they will bring death to you. So we can either, when
yeah,
we speak our words, how we speak it, do we bring joy, happiness, and peace to people, or do we bring destruction, hateful, mean to them? So that's always, and that's, I use this a lot, the power of words, because it is, our words are powerful. And
yeah,
your words that you wrote to him um, were a Christ-like pattern, and so it didn't bring any more animosity or hatred between you two, but you kind of diffused the situation, and you could have planted a seed there in his heart, and so now not only that, but also too, it relieved probably some anxiety and some things from you that you probably carried around from this. Probably when you
yeah,
first, so when you saw him again, you probably think, "Oh man, not again," you know. So, so you handled it in a Christ-like situation, and man, I
yeah.
commend you. For that.
I mean, I don't want him any harm, and
Right,
truly, I forgive him too, because I want God to forgive me.
right. You're right. If you want forgiveness, you got to show forgiveness. If you want love,
Yeah,
you got to show love. If you
yeah,
want friends, you have to be friendly. So,
yeah.
and that's some things that we have to learn as Christians. And
So yeah, so
if
so even
we
if
have to forgive if we want
yeah,
forgiveness.
even if this wasn't music related, it was life related.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No matter what the situation is, we have to forgive people, regardless. God says you have, forgive them because God will forgive you. If we can't forgive them, then God's not going to forgive us. So you're right. And you showed Christian love. Basically, is what you did. You showed Christian love and handling the situation. And
A funny
so
story.
this.
A funny story. We played a gig for 2 or 3 years ago, on the show, and we actually met. We stopped at McDonald's for a break. We were driving from
Oh,
the.
y'all got a McDonald's over there?
Yeah, lots. You should come.
Oh man. Okay, dude, I'm just joking with you, man. Okay, wow, okay.
And then we
All
met.
right, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. Sorry, I just couldn't resist, man. I had to say that, man.
It's okay. We met the guy who was the toughest guy from school that I talked to you about. Actually, on that McDonald's, and it was like 4 years since I saw him.
Wow.
And walked up to him and talked to him, and he was really glad that we told him this story, that he was the redeemer from my bullies.
Wow.
And I found out he's a Christian also. So I don't know if it was that back then, but it was a really touchy story to meet him after all these years and say thank you for. And he didn't remember even so, but
That
it
was
was
probably
great.
also that was probably also too, like you, it was probably a relief, especially when we've been bullied and we encountered these individuals later in life. It's kind of like, oh man, just like a big weight on your shoulders. Like,
Yeah,
what's going to happen now? And so then you find out their life has changed. Just like it was just lifted off of you, you know.
exactly.
And then hearing that, he was a Christian, that's even better, because it's like, wow, his life has changed.
Yeah.
You know. How about the rest of you? Do you similar situations? How about your son? I mean, does he has he ever encountered anything like this, bullying or anything like that around his his age group or anything like that? Have you ever heard of anything like that, or any of your friends?
Yeah, I mean, I've been bullied for a couple of years in middle school. Uh, uh, yeah, it was not a nice period for me at all, and it definitely um,
Has the
gave, gave a start to um, bad mental health.
so you have a scar too, just like everybody else right here.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have you're carrying around the scar as well.
So when I sit in the studio, uh, I can take fragments from that scar and put it
Put it
into
into a song.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
And
So
me
how
as
are you? So let me ask your son here. So how are you coping with that? Are you doing okay with that? With coping with it and your support? You have great support to help you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have my family. I have the band. I really enjoy playing music with you dudes.
With the old ones.
With all the dudes. Yeah, so I have a lot of support from family and friends, just to yeah cope with life.
Well, I want to say this here too with each of you. You guys can add me to Facebook, because anytime you ever want to talk or you need somebody to talk to, dude, message me.
yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
Real seriously, add me to Facebook, because I know what you're going through. I can be part of your support too. You know,
Thanks.
whether if you come and talk to me, and, you know, we can talk about it. So I just want to put that out there and let you guys know.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you so very much.
So has being a Christian artist, how is your relationships with your family and friends outside of the band?
I
Does
didn't
let
go.
let me say this, man. Does everybody, even though being in a band, does everybody outside of being in the band, does your friends or maybe some of your family like um still like, wow, you guys are in a band, and you know how people just want to be around you because you're in a band. So how does your family and friends, how do they react to that?
Yeah, maybe it was like you said before. The closest family, the closest friends are part of the crew
Okay.
surrounding the band, so
Yeah.
so it gives it's much more easy. But I know what you said. It could be like, oh, the band is a very special thing, and it could grow a kind of a separation from it. But I think we luckily we have engaged all the closer
Yeah.
family and spouses, and so that they are part of the band, not
Okay.
forcing anyone, but it's so, and that's
Exactly.
a
We whether they want or not.
Yeah.
no,
They're
but it,
part of the band, you know.
but
Everybody's in the band.
yeah, but that gives they all have talents of their own, like like photography or whatever. So it's really we have a large crew that we can support on.
So you guys have a pretty good close knit family.
Yeah.
You know, it has a
Yeah.
band and the members and everybody, the whole band in general. It sounds like it's really close knit. You know, it's like everybody's really supportive and everybody does their part and wants to do their part above and beyond. So you really got that close family gathering group type thing.
I don't think that we as a band here are higher in
In rank
in rank
or whatever.
Right.
because we're all kind of family. So everybody's is important, and
So nobody feels like just because you're the musicians, you're the band, you're up here, and everybody else is down here, so everybody's all equal.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the only star in this band is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the
it.
true hero.
That's the main thing. You know, that's it. That's the main thing, man. Christ has got to be the center of it all.
Yeah.
Um, can you share with me any details of your upcoming shows, or maybe you got anything planned for the summer?
We're gonna play at the big Christian festival last of May, and that's gonna be our first gig in
Quite some time.
quite 2 years or something. So it's gonna be excited, and
Wow.
we're excited about it.
It's Cross Rock Festival, right?
Yeah.
It's here in Sweden in different parts, so we have to drive there. But it's all Christian bands, I think.
Yeah.
Is it?
Jerusalem,
Oh,
Narnia.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So is this a big festival?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's new, but
Oh, is it?
it's in a hockey arena. Not that big though, but
But still.
it's still.
But still big. I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah, looking forward to that. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
then we have talked a lot with, maybe I've mentioned that with Eva, and
Yeah.
so we're kind of looking forward to the future, what that holds. But we have the main focus on that gig right now, and also we're almost mastered the new upcoming album, Monster Hunter. We'll probably release that after the summer.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Yeah. So,
going to start releasing singles pretty soon, I think.
okay. Yeah, because that's my next question there. If you have any new songs or projects that you're gonna be coming out with this year. So you got a new album coming out.
Monster Hunter.
Huh?
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter?
Yeah, that's the name of the album.
Name of the album?
Yeah.
Hey, I
Let's see.
look forward to oh wow.
Here's some.
Oh, okay. You have to send me one. You'll take a photo, email to me or send me over one. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so you're gonna be releasing a few singles off of it, up kind of debuting it that way before you release the whole album.
Yeah. And we have some threads out for new gigs also. So we're looking forward to get out there and play again.
Great. And yeah, I tell you what, I like your music. I do. I've been listening to it on Spotify and definitely like your music.
Thank
Nice.
you.
And I've watched the videos that you have too. So yeah, definitely doing some good work with the videos and definitely. Now, is there a testimony or anything that you guys would like to leave before we end this? Is there any testimony, anything that you would like to give?
Uh, you keep playing music for God, slapping the beds for God.
There you go. There you go, man. That's it. That's what we all should do. Use your talents, man. You guys are doing great. You really are, man. You really are. Your music. But I definitely going to. I definitely want to take that video champion. I definitely want to put it out. Let everybody hear it over here.
We did a collaboration with the MC Club Punisher.
Okay.
So we talked to them and they gave us footage to put in that video.
Oh, in that video.
Champion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bike group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. I
are
like that.
supporting
It.
kids.
I tell you what, that video is. It really speaks. It really does. I've watched like 3 or 4 times, man. I'm just like, wow, man, this video really speaks to me. But I just like the way it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the guitar solo. That puppy here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, the guitar solo in that thing. Yeah, dude, you really rocked on that thing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and your son playing bass in there, man. He really got into it too. I seen that, man. It's like everybody really did, man. I mean, like everybody got into it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when you're when he's making that video, I see we were talking about earlier. You know, especially when you're doing live, you get caught up in it and things like that. You know, same way. Was that how it was when y'all was making this video? He just really was excited and just really just got caught up in it. Cause man, your guitar solo, man, you really rocked it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just like all of a sudden it was playing, and all of a sudden you just came out of nowhere, dude. Like here was a guitar solo, man. I was like, damn.
Nice to hear. Nice to hear.
Yeah. And a couple of weeks
Like,
ago,
you know, like I said, I
video.
played in a band from '86 to '89, so I do know a lot about music, and but that that will always be a part of me. You know, just like you guys. You know, music is a part of you, and you know when you play the music, it doesn't leave you. It's always going to be a part there, and certain things. And I played rock and metal, but yeah, you know. When I seen you and heard that guitar solo, I was like, "Wow, man, where'd that come from?"
Wow. I'm honored.
I don't know where.
It
Truly.
did, man. It did. It really did. All of you guys did great, man. I'm telling you what, man. Keep up the good work, man. I look forward to hearing hearing your album and singles, releasing your singles. Let me know when it come out, man, because I'm following you. So But definitely send me a message on Messenger, man. Let me know when you're going to release your singles so I can put them out and let people hear them.
Yeah.
Right now we're working on the video for Monster Hunter song, the song Monster Hunter.
Oh, okay. So that's so the album title is also going to be a song, also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that one. Can't wait to hear it.
It's about warfare, spiritual warfare, and
Spiritual warfare. Wow, that'd be great. I like that.
how we sometimes let the devil into our own table, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It's not a good idea.
Right.
Have to leave him out.
You know, that's why we always have to keep the armor of God on. You know, because we're always fighting a spiritual battle. You know, it's like I don't know if you ever heard the story or not about the two wolves. Have you
Yeah.
heard that story before?
Yeah.
You know, it basically same thing. You know, we have the good and bad. You know, even Paul talks about it, how he known what he talks about. He wanted to do what he knew was wrong. He wanted to do, but he wanted to do what is right, but he still ended up doing what he knew he shouldn't be doing. So it was always that battle, you know. And if Paul struggled with it, you know, we're struggling with it, you know. So it is. It is a battle. The flesh and the spirit. It's always a battle, and always will be. But we have to keep the armor of God and stay in God's word. Pray, fellowship. You know what we have to do, read God's word. So we have to do that, you know, so that we will not give in to temptations and things like that.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Man, I
been great
really,
fun.
really enjoyed this. I really did, man. I'm looking forward to your music, man. I really am.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for the next interview.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, definitely will. I'll tell you what, we'll do this. When is your tour? May? When's that festival?
Yeah.
31st of May.
Yeah.
May?
May 31st.
I tell you what, let's set another one up after you guys do that festival. Let me know. We can talk about it and some other things and album and stuff like
Yeah.
that. We can do that.
Excellent.
I would like that,
Yeah.
man. I'll do that. We'll stay in touch and make sure we get it all set up
Yeah.
and do that.
Thanks for having us.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. Hey, thank you for giving me the opportunity, man. You know,
Thank
it's great. But also too, it's great to be able to fellowship with especially band members, is be able to know what they're doing out there and how God is using each of you all to spread His word. You know, that's what's great about it. You know, it's like, and a lot of the people that follow us here on the church Facebook page and stuff really love the interviews. They go and listen to your music and download it and everything. So
Cool.
yeah. But I really probably appreciate the opportunity just to be able to fellowship with other Christian brothers and have that time. You know, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, you're
Thanks
quite
so
welcome, man. Hey, we'll definitely be staying in touch and definitely be scheduling another one.
Yeah.
Probably probably first week in June after y'all do the festival. We'll get something scheduled in June.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
We keep in
Hey,
touch.
yeah, stay in touch, man. Definitely
Yeah.
stay in touch. Hey, Michael, you have my messenger and stuff like that. Just go ahead and let them, yeah, send it to your other all the others, and we'll all hook up and stay in touch.
Exactly.
Yeah,
For sure.
All right. Hey guys, continue on doing what you're doing, and that's rocking out for Jesus Christ. And
Yeah.
we'll definitely be staying in touch and be looking for another interview.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey,
And
thank you,
God
man.
bless.
Hey, you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there.
The same.
Bless
God bless
you.
you.
All right.
Same to you.
All right,
See
thank
you.
you. See you.
Bye bye.
All right, man. Have a
Bye.
good one.
You too.